Well, you know, you inevitably then attack yourself and you come out and understand yourself.
Good call.
It might have been a Joe Fest enough to ice it down there.
Right?
Call this regular meeting to order, Clarksburg City Council for Thursday, June 15th, 2023.
Will Hyman, Gary Keith,
Here.
Jim Alphajoe,
Here.
Jerry Riffle,
Here.
Wayne Worth,
Here.
Vice Mayor Junkins, Mayor Marino. This evening we have our prayer and our pledge by Councilmember Wood.
You can bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we come here grateful and thankful for many things in life that you give to us. We're grateful for this community. We're grateful for our freedom in our country. We're grateful for all the people in the chambers tonight that have something to say, concerns, celebrations, whatever it may be. Lord, we just pray to you and ask you that you guide us in our decisions and that our actions are an inspiration to other people who want to take leadership, not only in their own lives, but in our community. And most importantly, Lord, we ask you to just guide us to strive to be a reflection of your Son's love in the world. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening we have a special presentation by our Deputy Chief, Jason Weber.
We're going to do our department accommodations. Everyone may be aware, and those that aren't. Chief Kitty started this where we were recognizing achievements by our officers. Leaders, as you can see, some of them are here. They were forced to be here. A lot of them didn't want to be here for this. But why don't you all come up here? We'll read. I'm going to paraphrase these so we're not. Actually, I thought about going one at a time, but I didn't want to stand next to Officer Hill there. First, I'm going to read just paraphrase real quick. This is a department accommodation to Lieutenant Chad Travis, who's down here. On the 8th, 2023, Lieutenant Chad Travis responded to Staley Park. He received some information on a juvenile who was located at the park and was brandishing a firearm. He made contact with the male there at the Staley Park, noticed an item in his pocket, and when the person attempted to reach for that item, Officer Travis had to go in pursuit with that. In the foot pursuit, the gun fell out. He was able to secure and detain that, which ended up being a juvenile at the time. Made the arrest, located and secured the firearm. He ran the juvenile's name. He was wanted out of the state of Florida for the same crime, carrying a firearm. So on that day, we feel Lieutenant Travis went above and beyond to keep that community safe, especially at park. Officer of the Month goes to Sergeant Justin Moore. During the month of May 2023, Sergeant Moore showed exemplary performance and valuable service to the city by focusing his efforts on reducing serious traffic crashes. Sergeant Moore spent a lot of time out on the roads. I know we get a lot of flack when we get citations. We truly feel that we're saving lives, especially with seatbelts. Sergeant Moore issued 41 citations. The offenses of speeding, 4 citations for defective equipment, 1 for failure to maintain control, 1 for driving suspended, 1 for no operator's license, 5 criminal misdemeanor offenses, and made 4 arrests. He also completed all these tasks by supervising some of his subordinates on his shift. So we appreciate all the hard work. You know, it may not show, but we truly believe that saves lives. Detective Sergeant Kevin Collins. Kevin Collins is receiving the Detective Sergeant, or the Stephen Toriak Award for his investigation efforts into a burglary over in Northfield. It started as a simple call, patrol went out. The victim in that particular case had $30,000 cash and other valuables were stolen from his home. I remember this case very well. He worked tirelessly, obtained multiple search warrants, video surveillance, went out and hit the streets, identified witnesses, and was able to secure the case, make an arrest using a photo. He went above and beyond in that case to assist the victim. It was truly a victim lost a lot of money there.
Thank you.
Department commendation goes to First Class Patrolman King Bender. He cannot be here. He had something come up. So I'm going to leave that. And last but certainly not least, Patrolman Terrence Hill. See, the following here. This is department commendation for his efforts in the month of May 2023, in which Patrolman Hill arrested a fugitive from justice, made 1 felony arrest, 8 misdemeanor arrests. In addition to this, Patrolman Hill issued 4 misdemeanor citations, issued 29 traffic citations. We recognize his fine efforts, hard work. Officer Hill is practically brand new. A lot of years around him here, but we're very fortunate to have him for an officer. I believe Chad wanted to say a few words. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate that. Appreciate these officers' efforts.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Kent Spellman wishes to address council concerning the Lowndes Hill Bike Park.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I appreciate the opportunity. I am here to talk to you about the resolution to support the Lowndes Hill project and the Recreational Trails Program grant to support that project. In a previous council meeting, you voted not to support that project. I want to urge you to reconsider. I'm here because I've been involved with trails of all kinds for more than 35 years. I'm currently the president of the Harrison Recreational Trails Group, which is supporting, raising money for, advocating for recreational trails of all types in Harrison County. I'm also president of West Virginia Trail, which is a statewide organization advocating for non-motorized trails of all kinds, in terms of both funding, in terms of support, in terms of building networks to advocate for trail development and maintenance. This is a statewide organization. I'm also on the board of the Mountaineer Trail Network Recreation Authority, which is a 16-county initiative to develop trail systems throughout that 16 counties, to market those trail systems and to market the communities that are in them. I was also one of the founders of the North Bend Rail Trail. Many of you are familiar with that. That was work that started in 1988. So I've been at this trail work for a long time. But when people ask me about it, I tell them I don't really care about trails. What I care about is what trails can do for communities, what trails can do for our youth, what trails can do for our economy. They are powerful drivers. Families, in considering where they want to live, consider amenities. And access to trails is one of the top amenities they are seeking in determining where they want to live. Keep that in mind when you're trying to turn a community around. I sent to everybody last evening a memo. I hope you looked at it. I hope you read it. There's a lot of points in there. I'm not going to go through all those points here this evening. But I do want to say that I think those points have real meaning and real importance in building a stronger community. I know there's a lot of concerns about the project in terms of the funding. I know that people perceive this project as possibly competing with other infrastructure needs. I do want to stress that the funding for this project comes out of the Recreational Trails Program grants. Those grants are not infrastructure grants. They cannot be used for infrastructure. They can only be used for recreational trails. So there is no competition there in terms of, for example, your sidewalk program, funding for that sidewalk program. I think my crowning achievement has been the creation of the West Virginia Community Development Hub. That's a community development organization, probably the most impactful in the state. So when you think about trails, think about how trails connect communities, connect people to their communities, and connect communities with one another. This is what the Lowndes Project is going to do. Clarksburg does not have an all-purpose trail available to its citizens for public use. This would be the first, and it's a great location for it. I also want to stress that all of the rail trails in Harrison County are maintained by Harrison County. The city does not maintain even those rail trails within its own borders. I think that investing in the Lowndes Hill project is a great way for the city to invest in trails in a way that they have not so far. And I urge you to reconsider. You know, it's really difficult to measure economic impact. And I know, Jerry, you've asked the question, like, what's the impact here? I say that it's not about the money that people drop as tourists coming to use our trails or walk through our communities. I say the real economic impact is creating communities that are attractive, that are appealing, that are open, that invite people to come and have fun here. And trails can help us do that. When you create a place where people want to live, they will move there. And creating a place where people want to live in Clarksburg means access to outdoor recreation, as well as access to our wonderful arts and cultural amenities, such as the Robinson Grand, a huge community builder beyond the arts and culture. My time is up. I urge you to reconsider. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Jeff Bolte wishes to address council concerning the same issue.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the head coach for the Harco Mountaineers, which is a Harrison County mountain bike team. It's 6th to 12th grade, and it's a youth mountain biking team that I got involved with 5 years ago. Over the years, we've gone from 7 student athletes to we'll have over 20 this year. We're one of 21 teams that compete in the state under the West Virginia Interscholastic Cycling League and under the National Interscholastic Cycling Association, which is NICA. And so these are two associations that their mission is basically to create strong minds, bodies, character, and community through the sport of mountain biking for kids. We have 21 teams and over 500 athletes competing this year. And having a trail system doesn't have to be at Lowndes. You know, we've been through this all. I've been trying for over a year now to try to get some traction, as you would say, in the mountain biking community to try and help the community. You know, with a community asset, that would be something that is free to the public. Anybody can go ride there. It would be an asset to the YMCA for their summer camps to have a pump track there. There would also be a half-mile crush and run that, even if it's muddy on the trails, you can get up there and people at the Y could exercise and stretch your legs. And so I'm just asking to reconsider to apply for this grant. I mean, that's just the start of the whole project. I mean, the first thing that would be done would be an engineering study to make sure that the land is feasible. I know that property's needed an engineering study for many years because of friends of mine's complaints of water and slipping and everything else that goes on up there. And so even if we do get the grant, we get the engineering study and it says, no, we can't build those trails on Lowndes Hill, at least we've received a grant. We get the engineering study, which the town needs, and then we can look for another location to try to get a grant to bring something to our community. There was a couple other pieces of property that were mentioned to me, but that, you know, we've already done the research as far as walking and doing a trail plan for a little over 4 miles of trail up there. So I just hope that you guys could reconsider just letting the city apply for that grant and see where it goes. We applied a year ago. We did not get the grant. Then the council voted for $60,000 match. And on this grant, it's only $53,750. So I just ask that you guys would take that into consideration for the future of our town. Thank you.
Thanks.
Vicki Bland wishes to address the council concerning neighbors.
Hello. I had to write a letter, so I didn't forget nothing. To the city council, we're here this evening to ask you to please change the barking dog ordinance. We literally are losing our minds, having to leave our homes because of this. They're a public nuisance and we need help. You have the power to help us with our rights as homeowners and taxpayers. The people have been there almost 2 years and disrupted our community. Law enforcement has been called quite a lot, saying it's not against the law, but disturbing the peace is. We are sleep deprived and stress is very high. We have asked nicely for them not to let the dogs bark as long. They do it anyway. We have usually end up with them vulgar language against us. You have had numerous and constant calls about this from a lot of people. I understand this. So this is a time when it's most needed to change and or update this ordinance. I've been in my home for 42 years and I'm finding it more hard to stay there. I'm too old for change, really. I have videos of the dog barking. It's over barking a riding lawnmower. I understand decibels are involved. And they pull up on the street with their car radio blaring songs. They've been asked to stop it. I don't wish this to escalate anymore as we are elderly and don't know if and how they may retaliate. At this point, we don't have anywhere else to turn. We must have ways for change. I hope we remain anonymous because I'm afraid of them, but they have done a lot. And I've been in touch with code enforcement. They made them clean up their trash. They have a car in the backyard. They have gas cans and they have kids there playing. The downspouts down, when it rains hard, it goes into my basement. He's let the pool drain twice into her basement. He dropped a tree on her house and told her, you got pictures? Well, 2 witnesses saw it happen. You got pictures? Go up and sue me. I don't care. I got money to you. He gets really smart and they do stuff on purpose. So if any way you could help us, please. These dogs, it's a Great Pyrenees, a pit bull that she lets run loose, a little dog that barks all the time. They let their pit bull run loose Saturday evening and their trash is in the yard. She's got pictures of the trash. A rat this big went through my fence. So they're coming from their trash. But please help us with the dog ordinance, please. Make it a law that They get fined every time they do it, or at least, and sometimes the cops don't even come out when I call. They're used to me calling. Yeah, he barks constantly. That's his breed. But still, she won't put him in. 7 hours Tuesday, she let him bark. Please take it into consideration. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. We can ask the city manager, one of her first things, she can look at our dog ordinance and see how it compares to our surrounding cities and see
Oh,
if
I
anything
know,
needs to be done with
Bridgeport's
that
just
issue.
10 minutes barking tops. We're in the same thing.
Thank you.
Chad Sigmund wishes to address council concerning the proper procedure to obtain a speed bump and to also offer thanks to the council members for their last meeting.
Sorry about my writing. I didn't think you would be able to even decipher any of that. First of all, I just want to welcome Tiffany Phelps to our first official council meeting. We're really looking forward to many more in the upcoming years. Also, I want to thank council member Will Hyman and Jerry Riffle. I'm sure all of you would have replied to me, but it was such a quick response when I was inquiring about the budget funds for the IOFF cemetery. Found out you guys found out that the $5,000 will be for this coming budget, and that's really important. So I really appreciate you guys having that in the budget for this year. Also want to thank, one of the reasons I came up here is to thank Councilman Gary Keith. You did a tremendous job this last 4 years, and we really appreciate your service. You really kept it colorful up here, and we're going to miss you for that as well. We need a council member like you here at Clarksburg City Hall. You really brought information to the public, and really, I believe, especially in the last few months, really got some information that was really potent to this election. So I do appreciate you putting yourself out there, for one, because you take some heat for that as well. But I feel like you knew what was right, and I commend you for doing that. And also, know you're going to do some great things, either maybe on city council again, or maybe on the next level. So again, I just want to appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank you, Chad. Jerry's agreed to take over all my comments.
And with that, I just came up here as well to really find out, again on social media and up here as well, the proper procedure of obtaining a speed bump in Clarksburg city limits. That we all know about the one that's over on Broad Oaks, and it wasn't, I guess, properly obtained. And I would like, without any bias, I live on in Staley and up on Waverly Way, and cars zoom up there. And I don't know if there's any money in the budget or to look into, or just information for me for maybe the upcoming year of obtaining a speed bump. I have a little 5-year-old, and she's out there playing more and more, and seeing these cars zooming by. It used to be a lot worse when Staley Pool was there, and cars would fly by, but they're still going way too fast, especially when you pass right where their Temple Terrace, right in front of Timothy Genovesi's house, going through there. I would like to see, or that there's any cost, or maybe seeing a speed study, not just at Waverly Way, because that would be biased, but just other streets that people have brought this to council to maybe look into. If not, maybe to see if there's anything, maybe with how we do the sidewalk program, there would be like a percentage, that how we do with the sidewalks that you run into, so that some of the members of the community would be willing to put some money towards that. I know I would be able to do that, because it's just, we have a disabled individual right there as well. We have more elderly individuals, and right with that intersection, Public Works have helped me when you're turning out of our alley going into Waverly Way from Temple. It was blindside, you couldn't see anything, but they have put a little bit of yellow paint so we can maybe make a better turn, but sometimes still people park there for various reasons. But the main concern is the speed. So I'd really like to get information, maybe get talk among the council, seeing, or at least get the information on the proper procedure of obtaining a speed bump. And that again is right there on Waverly Way. Again, I just want to thank Councilor for everything. Councilman Keith, I would give thanks to the mayor and the vice mayor if they were here, or either by phone as well. But since they're not here, I do want to congratulate candidates and soon-to-be council members, Mark Jackson and Hattie Wright. They're always showing encourages me that they're going to be here at all the meetings. So it shows how important it is in having a good council. And I think we're going to have a great council in this upcoming year, and how important it is to come to meetings, and it shows how individuals that ran for council, how they would like to be up there. So again, I just want to thank all of you for taking the time. If you're looking at that information, I'd appreciate it. And since I have 53 seconds, I would like to address one more thing is if you can look into an ordinance about the blight, just on when it comes to garbage cans. I've called a particular address. I don't want to say now because the Public Works knows about it. Leaving garbage out for the weekend until Monday. I mean, it used to be that members would take it after their garbage, bring it back up the house. And it stinks, brings rats, you're mentioning. If there's something we can put in the ordinance when it comes to garbage and garbage cans to bring it back up to your house, I'd really appreciate it, because I have been calling up the Public Works. I don't know if there's anything in the ordinance about that, but if you look into it, I really appreciate it. A lot of other members on Temple Terrace have given that concern as well. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Jay.
Chris Lane?
Evening, everybody. Actually, I drove by a little bit ago through town and had to pull a U-turn. I completely forgot that tonight was meeting night. Seems like there's not as many priorities as there once was. But I would like to, I'll touch base on some things that Chad said there. One of them, Gary, do appreciate your time here. You put in 4 strong years. Feel you got a lot accomplished with what you intended to accomplish. I don't know if you got everything accomplished, but I don't think anybody that goes up there does. But you made a hard effort with it. Also want to commend you on holding yourself accountable, being transparent, and I feel very, very honest with the citizens. It wasn't always liked, it wasn't always easy, but it was the right thing to do. I'm sure it wasn't the easiest thing to do for you, but anything worth doing doesn't normally come easy, and anything that comes easy is probably not worth doing. And being up there in council, it's important. It's important for yourselves. It's important for the citizens. It's important for our community, and it doesn't come easy. And I've probably talked to all of you up there at one point or another. I don't think any one of you said it's easy being up there. The new candidates, here tonight, it's not the first night I've seen them here. They've been coming to meetings, they've been getting involved. And I believe when they set out to run for council, they was fully aware that it's not going to be easy. I feel they're strong individuals. I feel they're honest individuals. Just like all of you up there. I think that, next month, whenever they come up here, looking forward to seeing some positive changes, some positive outlooks for the community. And going with a strong council moving forward, it's good to see a new, hopefully strong city manager here. You've heard a lot of good things about Ms. Fell. Hoping that that communication will be a priority, will be important. That's probably been one of my biggest issues with past individuals in your position, is simply following up with communication, responding to emails, returning phone calls, and reaching out to the community, with information, not only when the community is knocking on your door. And I can imagine, as tough as it is, being on council, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress in the city manager position. And I don't think anybody should take that position lightly. And I don't think anybody should give you a hard time for not getting back to them, immediately. But if something's going to take you a week, 2-3 weeks, a month, feel free, tell an individual, especially if it's me, hey, it's gonna take a week, 2, 3 weeks, a month to get back to you, but when that time rolls around, don't forget to follow through. That's been the biggest singular common issue that I've seen is, is out of the city in general, is whenever they say, hey, we'll get back to you, or we'll get back to you in a week or a month. No, we don't hear anything as a community or as individuals. I have to come back up here or reach back out to try to get a response. So I think moving forward, having the communication, having the transparency, would like to thank Councilman Hyman right there for bringing the full meeting out here into the open. Hoping to see that, pass through here tonight. Don't see any reason why it wouldn't. I don't understand why the mayor didn't have it out here before. From what research I've done, there's nothing prohibiting it from being out here before. But I am happy that, the councilman stood up to make an official motion to make that happen. That's a strong sign of having transparency and having open communication. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mrs.
City managers report and update.
No. You can have all the time you need.
So this is the city manager's report for June 15th, 2023. Economic development. So the beautification committee for June 12th was rescheduled for July 10th. We may need to add some new members to that committee as well. The West Virginia Entrepreneur Ecosystem Zoom meeting was held June 13th. The USDA will host a Path to Prosperity event in Fairmont on June 11th. And the new crumble cookie location is opening very soon on Emily Drive. I believe they're having a ribbon cutting next week, actually, next Friday. The police department. So the police department will be conducting the final physical examination testing on Saturday, June 17th at 9 a.m. at the RCB High School track. Congratulations to Sergeant Chris Harris for completing 15 years of service with the police department. The annual National Night Out will be held on Tuesday, August 1st this year at the VA Park. Congratulations go to Sergeant Justin Moore on being selected Officer of the Month for May. And citizens and motorists are reminded that the Cecil Jarvis 10K race will be held Saturday, the 17th of June. The road closures and detours will be in place at the beginning, starting at 8 a.m. until noon. City Park. So the splash zone developed an issue with sharp points in the plaster. The company returned on June 7th and sanded large sections of the pool. We are inspecting the pool for rough patches still. A new canopy has been ordered for the large water slide and should arrive within 4 weeks. And work is continuing with a local monument company regarding repairs to the city's plaque monument on Monticello Park, repairs to 2 plaques at the Loria Field, as well as a plaque for Frank Loria. The wastewater treatment plant. The troughs were installed in the thickener, and we are still waiting additional parts to begin phase 2 of the thickener upgrade. The motor in blower 3 went bad, and the replacement should be shipped within a few days. We are asking the public to please not flush baby wipes and flushable wipes down the drains. They do not dissolve, and they are not flushable, even though it does say it on the package that you can do that. The fire department would like to congratulate Firefighter First Class Matt Reel for being promoted to the rank of lieutenant. Matt has over 23 years of experience. The hose testing is nearly complete with only 1 truck remaining. All the fire trucks passed their annual pump performance certification. The Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center. 5 of the 6 dance studios have held their recitals at the Robinson Grand. There will be 1 more from June 21st to the 25th at some point. Summer holiday movies have been announced and are on sale. Shrek will be shown on June 28th at 11 a.m. and Inside Out on July 26th at 11 a.m. as well. The Mountain Stage will be coming to the Robinson Grand on August 27th. Zach Williams added a 2nd show on September 14th. The 15th show is almost sold out. Code enforcement. 45 building permits have been issued for a total job cost of just over $1.3 million. 51 notice of violations, 12 citations, 2 I just want to make sure I was pronouncing that, condemnations, 13 reboards, 18 inspections, 62 animal control calls, 82 re-inspections, and 25 C-click fix inspections, and 171 weekly property checks. In addition, 51 work orders and 5 properties were removed from condemnation. Public Works Department. Public Works installed senior banners and prepped for the Cecil Jarvis 10K race. They picked up just over 17,000 pounds of yard waste and processed 77,000 pounds of yard waste at the compost center. Curb lines were cleaned along the East and West Main Street and Milford Street. They renewed the yellow paint in 5 neighborhoods, patched streets throughout the neighborhoods, and removed graffiti at the Hughes Avenue parking building. And the Finance Department. The Finance Department would like to remind everyone that all municipal business licenses will expire on June 30th, 2023. If you have not received a license renewal, please contact the Finance Department at 304-624-1630.
Unfinished business. Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance to add section 115.17 to specify meeting locations for council and committees. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared in the Exponent Telegram on June 6th and June 13th.
Open the public hearing.
Oh, we'll open the public hearing. No one wanting to speak? I'll close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Reconsideration to accept the West Virginia DOT Recreation Trails Program, Lowndes Park Trail System, and Bike Park Grant in the amount of $215,000 with a 20% match in the amount of $53,750 for a total project cost of $268,750.
Mr. Chairman, I move we reconsider the grant application for the Lowndes Hill Trail Park System.
Second.
All in favor? Or do we have any discussion?
I'll discuss. We brought this up last time, and the reason why I voted against it, and I'm going to vote against it this time too, is not because I believe that, recreation is not important to Clarksburg, because it is. I voted to support the rail trail connector. That's very important. And believe me, I've been around rail trails my whole life. Grew up in Pocahontas County. We had a Greenbrier Trail that had to do with connectivity. North Bend Rail Trail connected from Parkersburg to Wolf Summit. I believe that we should connect that. I just believe that the Lowndes Hill project, and this is, and I told folks before, I'm going to go with my gut on this. I usually don't go with my gut. I usually go with research. But I just don't want to wake up 10 years from now and have maintenance costs up there that require, retaining walls and pretty much budget busting type infrastructure just to maintain. I understand, and Jerry has a lot of passion, and he should, because I think, it is a good thing for Clarksburg. I really do believe that in my heart. As a councilman, though, I have to look ahead 5 to 10 years down the road. I have to look ahead at these maintenance costs. Who's going to pay for these maintenance costs, even after the project's complete? And if those maintenance costs cannot be paid, does the trail shut down? Is there going to be sponsors to help pay for those maintenance costs? So I'm going to reluctantly vote against this because, I just believe that when I look ahead, years down the road, I look at a lot of maintenance costs, and I don't want that. I don't want to encumber, future councils with those sort of costs. So that's all I'm doing.
When I got on council,
and Gary can definitely appreciate this, because I believe this is one thing that he was definitely, how he operates too, is I got on here knowing that I was going to give, try to swing for a couple home runs and really try to make a difference, try to make Clarksburg stand out. We need that. Infrastructure. When we put infrastructure things on the agenda, it always votes unanimously. We're not against infrastructure at all. We're always going to do that. That's not what, there's no question we support infrastructure, and 99% of our money will always go towards infrastructure. But we have to look at other ways to stand out as a city, to bring more people here. When I was younger, like when I was 22, 23, I really didn't have direction in my life. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. So I started getting in better shape, running, hiking. And one time I ran, I know some people say Lions Hill is not accessible, but I was able to run up that hill, and I climbed to the top of the hill. And there was a perfect location to like the back right corner of the Y, and you can see downtown. And just like, I was probably there for 3-4 hours and just like really thinking about my life, where I was at, where I was going to go. But when you're in good shape, when you do outdoor recreation, your mind is clear. You have more thoughts, you have more creativity, and you have more direction in your own mind. And I just overlooked Clarksburg, and at that point I was like, I want to be more into the community. I want to do more things to try to make this city better. I've always lived here. I like thinking outside the box, and you will not find trails. You might find trails that are longer, more difficult, but you will not find any trails more unique in any state or any city in this entire state that overlooks a downtown like ours would. We need to think like that. We need to have more ways of being attractive. Other things will come. The economic development will come, as Kent mentioned. The kids will be involved. And the most direct path to revitalization is through the youth. And so let's get our kids up there on the hill. Let's get kids on mountain bikes. Let's give them reasons to, stay active. So let's think outside the box. Let's try to make Clarksburg look different. Let's go take on tasks that, some people may oppose. And I've spent lots of hours on the phone talking to those that oppose. I respect their opinion. May have lost a friendship with one of them, a family friend, and, I listened to him speak for about 3 hours on the phone, and I'll still go over there and get pepperoni rolls from over there. And I respect his opinion. And it sucks that, certain things like that maybe make you in opposition to each other, and I don't want that at all. But I just want to do things differently, and that's why I was on council. And if I did not at least try these type of things, I should have never ran for council in the first place. So I hope it can pass tonight. I hope we can get this moving, and I hope Clarksburg can be more attractive to things like this.
Well, I'd like to say I am going to vote yes on this, and when the engineering report comes in, if it is not feasible, then, I will vote against it. But I at least want to get a study done to see. I think it would be good economic development. It would help downtown Clarksburg. It would bring more people into the city, and I'm going to vote yes.
Anything?
Tons of.
I was kind of surprised to see this on the agenda again. I thought maybe, that we would try it again eventually. I'm going to stand by what I said at the last meeting, and I'm not going to be supporting this now. And I agree with Mr. Malford. We'll see how it plays out with engineering study. I told Mr. Riffle down there that I would support paying for an engineering study at our next council meeting, or finding out a way to do it, finding the funds for it at least. That way we would have it and we could put it on our, bookshelf and say, we know what's going on up at Lowndes Hill. Right now we won't. Even tonight, if this passes, we won't know for another at least 10 months. A lot can change from here to there, but again, I'm not going to be supporting it. So.
I didn't really understand why this got back on the agenda either, even though I'm in favor of it, honestly. Because I didn't see anybody changing their mind that quick. You can, go.
So the only reason it's back on the agenda because the deadline to apply for the grant is the end of this week.
Okay.
And that's why it's back. So I actually requested that it be put back on the agenda because, as I've said, I love grant funds.
I mean, I'm not gonna give you guys a big speech about it. It's obviously gonna fail, so, one of my parting pieces of advice for this council will be though, if you wait until all the infrastructure's fixed to do anything special for the citizens, you're never gonna do anything. The infrastructure will never be fixed. It's a constant process. As soon as you fix something, something else breaks. You know, everything's old. It's never gonna be fixed. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. All right, so do we have a motion in a second?
No, you have a motion consideration pending, which doesn't need a second.
Okay.
So you have your motion for reconsideration pending first to vote on. And then you vote on, if the motion for reconsideration passes, then you vote on the resolution.
Okay, so all in favor?
That's for the reconsideration.
I motioned it, I'll second.
Okay. No.
For the reconsideration?
Yeah.
Will Hyman?
Aye.
Gary Keith?
Aye.
Jim Alphajoe?
Aye.
Jerry Riffle?
Yes.
Wayne Worth?
No.
Motion carries.
Okay, now I believe we need a motion to reconsider.
You do the new motion to pass it at this point, or to accept it, yes.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Will Hyman?
no,
Gary Keith?
Yes.
Jim Alphajoe?
Yes.
Jerry Riffle?
Yes.
Wayne Worth?
No.
Motion.
Motion, I believe you have a quorum, so I believe motion passes.
It passed.
Motion passes. I didn't even realize that. We're learning stuff tonight, huh?
New business. Consideration of a resolution of the city of Clarksburg, West Virginia to convey Stadium Drive property to Urban Renewal Authority.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Consideration of an amended resolution to accept the West Virginia DOT Transportation Alternatives Glen Elk Streetscape and Green Infrastructure Project Phase 1 grant in the amount of $548,800 with a 20% match in the amount of $137,200 for a total project cost of $686,000.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
no,
Will Hyman?
no,
Gary Keith?
Yes.
Jim Alphajoe?
Yes.
Jerry Riffle?
Yes.
Wayne Worth?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Consideration of appointment to the Clarksburg Harrison Regional Housing Authority Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Keith, I have to recuse myself.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move we appoint Mr. Marcel Malfajo to the Clarksburg Harrison Regional Housing Authority Board of Commissioners.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Come on back.
Consideration of certification of results of the June 6, 2023 municipal general election.
So moved.
Second.
We have First and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Council comments?
Who wants to go first? Wayne, go.
Well, I thank everyone for coming out. It's good to see everybody and the activism and stuff. I want to congratulate Lieutenant Travis, Sergeant Moore, Sergeant Collins, Patrolman First Class Bender, and Patrolman Hill. I think that was a great presentation in the beginning. I think a lot of times we just kind of overlook public safety until it happens to us. And then we get upset and angry and we expect it to, work for us. And I think a lot of the folks that, maybe get lost in that mix are our police officers. They work tirelessly and they don't really get a whole lot of praise. And this was, I think tonight was, and I like, even Deputy Chief Weber. I even like the detail of like each accomplishment and what each person did. And I think we should have more of that, not only for the police department, but, for the fire department, for public works. Because I'm looking down here at the city manager's report for public works and I see them out there all the time, doing great things. 77,000 pounds of yard waste. That's on top of, fixing sewer lines and trying to vac out, storm drains and all the other issues. We should really thank all these folks. And when I see the Robinson Grant and everything that they're doing, what a significant investment that really paid off. I look at the partnerships that were involved, and now we're going to bring Mountain Stage here on August 27th. I got to go up there when the Harrison County Cultural Foundation was up there, and just amazing to see, just the partnership that they have and how invested they are, when it comes to entertainment in Clarksburg. I just think it's just simply amazing. I mean, there's so many positive things to talk about when it comes to Clarksburg, and even some of the things that, one of the things I voted against tonight, because as a councilman, I always want to look ahead 10 years and not put a financial burden on anyone. As Wayne Worth, though, yeah, I'd love to have a bike trail up there, but it's my responsibility and duty to do what's best for what I feel is best for 15,000 residents. And believe me, I think we have a lot of recreational opportunities, here in our city. Looking at the comp plan and just looking at what West Milford had with the kayaks, with the float to fork, we could do that right here. We could be a destination hub for that. And I look forward to this new council, working with this new council to hopefully put that together and make that happen. So I do want to thank Will Hyman and echo what Mr. Lane said for bringing up that ordinance to have the conference meetings here. I think that's very important. I remember when I was first on council, I was scared to death to go back there. So I was like, man, we need an agenda for this thing. It's like, I just feel like I feel more comfortable up here doing everything in the public, and it should be in the public. And not to say that the conference sessions weren't public, because they were open to the public, but having them up here where everybody feels comfortable coming in, that's the way it should be. And then other than that, I thank everyone for coming out and being a part of this council. I want to also recognize our House of Delegates member, Mickey Petito, back there too. Thank you for coming here and listening to our city's concerns. It really means a lot to have a state representative here that comes to council meetings. I think this is the second one I've seen yet in the last month. I know you had interims. So we look forward to working with you and Ben in the future. So that's all I got to say. Oh, and I just want to welcome Tiffany Fells. Haven't called her that much this week because I want to have her get her feet on the ground, but I got a list this long next week, so buckle up. That's all I got.
Very good. Let's see, what do I got? See, I mean, the speed bump, you brought the speed bump. I will say that there has been some movement on future planning for that. City Police has took it on a roll, and there's been some discussion on how we can move forward. I want to put on an agenda. I hope it's going to be on an agenda here soon. We need to do speed studies to find out where these go, but I think I want to start off by putting in front of all the playgrounds, because we don't need a speed study to tell us speed bump is needed in front of a playground where kids play. I want to start with there. Hopefully that will get support, and we can get that done. Summer's starting. I'd like to get speed bumps out there and you know, the kids go to play safely. I want to push forward, and I know Public Works is going to have issues with speed bumps, especially when it's plowing time, and there's certain people that may just run right into them. I'm not going to mention any names, but we know the few that may run right into those speed bumps. But I think overall, I think it'll be a good thing. I think Gary's coming around on them.
No.
Speed bumps. So, you know, I think the one on Buchanan Avenue is works. It slows me down. Not that I ever speed ever. I've never sped once in the city. But it slows cars down, and I see it to be effective. So I'm looking forward to us getting more. I want to thank Gary for his time up here. It's not easy, and the new council members that got elected, I hope you're doing it for the right reason, and I believe everybody is, because there's going to be days where this is very tough. It's going to be very, very stressful, and you're going to wonder, like, what's the goal, and why did I do that? I see Gary more as like a bash brother up here with me, because I feel like he'll say how it is, and some people may not agree with his approach sometimes, but he's always honest, and appreciate the way he is. We're going to miss that up here, and so hopefully you stay involved, and you know, get you on a board or a commission or wherever, you know, so you can stay involved. So I know your knowledge and your energy and everything is definitely still needed. I want to welcome our new city manager. I think as I've been on council now that she moved here, I think our population of the Clarksburg has went up. So that's a good thing. Our population is rising. If we just look in the last 2 weeks, and that's good numbers. So welcome, and a lot of passion in this city, a lot of history. These people that come and complain, and not complain, but just, you know, my neighbor has a dog that barks a lot too, so I understand, and it's not easy walking up to that podium. So we want to give everybody that comes and speaks, you know, all of our attention, and giving them their voice, and kind of put some support behind it, so we can get things figured out. But the city is it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. Changing things here, it'd be, you know, we need to do that. We have a lot of people in the city that is looking to you for leadership, looking to us for leadership, and there's a lot of excitement that you're here, and I'm excited. Council's excited. New council, I've talked to them, they're excited, and I think we have a good opportunity right now to hit the ground running, and really, because we haven't done too much the last 2 years, as Gary will say. Been very frustrating, but I think now is our opportunity for us to really get things going. I want to thank all the officers for their work. And one thing that is never gets credit is the unknown. You don't really know the unknown. I said one officer, I'm not sure which one it was, you know, was able to get the weapon from the individual. He stopped something that could have been a lot worse. That happens every single day while they're on the force, every single day. And they go home with that, and they go back to work the next day. So I'm glad we're recognizing them in a way, and we want to thank them for their daily work. It's very important. The trails, we already spoke about them. That is very exciting. Gary, it passed. So yeah, and that's all I really got. And Gary, thank you again.
Well, good. Thanks. I'm going to start with the welcoming Ms. Bell. The search that we had was very stressful for city manager. It lasted way entirely too long. But I believe we found the right candidate, and I believe we're going to move forward and do the right thing here on city council. So welcome to the neighborhood. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Let's see. The police officer awards, hearing some of what happened makes you appreciate it a little bit more. You know, it's hard to imagine some of the stuff that they see, and when I'm in my neighborhood, I'm cruising around and I see things that, it makes me turn my head. I know that at some point your officers will have to deal with it. And whether it's in Northview or wherever else. So, keep up the good work. I know you guys will. And hoping that you guys can stay safe out there all the time. Let's see. The bike trails and the media, the council attendance. Let's go back to that. I think members of council should be thanking their lucky stars that there are certain members of council who were not here to vote the bike trails down. Again, I'll tell you straight up that, the reason I didn't support it was financial, fiduciary, whatever you want to call it. I support outdoor activities. I own a mountain bike. I don't own a very expensive mountain bike. In fact, I own almost the same mountain bike I did when I was in high school. I've ridden almost the entirety of the Sino Canal Trail. I'm looking forward to expand on that and teach my daughter how to get into riding. But again, I've got to look at the responsibilities that we have here at the city. And I also look at the historic issues of Lowndes Hill. And I'm hoping that we can have Ms. Fell direct our grant writer to maybe look into other grants that may help us preserve the Civil War trenches that are approaching 160 years old, or maybe even over 160 years old at this point, as we approach that 160-year mark of the U.S. Civil War. I have great grandparents who fought on both sides of the Civil War, from Barber County and fought for the Union, and out here in Ritchie and Douglas County who fought for the Confederacy. So it holds an important. Lowndes Hill is very important to me, and I'd hate to see it be disregarded. With outdoor recreation going right over areas where our great grandparents served and attempted to preserve the Union. I think in the grand scheme of things, mountain bike trails on Lowndes Hill, comparing to that are very minuscule. That's, again, I hope it works out. I hope the next council has the support of them, but unless something changes, I will not be supporting them with any type of vote going forward. Other than that, I believe there's a First Friday coming up, right, guys? You guys know anything about that? When is that date?
July 7th.
July 7th.
Long way away.
Yeah, well, we'll meet here one more time to elect a new mayor and a new vice mayor. Again, I'm going to ask anybody who wants to seek the office of mayor and vice mayor, speak and tell our constituents why they want to be the mayor or vice mayor, just like I did in 2021. And I hope you guys can agree with that. And I'll look forward to that meeting. And I look forward to serving with Tiffany and the new members of council. I think we are going to have a great team, and I believe we can work towards, and I'm not going to say it's a return to normalcy, because I don't really want to return to normalcy, but I do believe it'll be a return to professionalism and class. And I think we're going to get stuff done up here. So other than that, have a great weekend, and we'll do it next time. How about that?
Good, sir.
Folks, if you see something, say something. Pick up the phone and dial 911. If you don't, there's no way that we can control or get the police department there. You have to say, call and say something. I want to congratulate the police officers for their citations. I have a public service announcement here I'd like to read. Hands-on culinary class led by Heart Kitchen, pairing first responders and children. There's 10 teams participating, 1 child and 1 first responder per team. The date is Sunday, August 13th. Heroes will be identified by next Thursday. We are reaching out to all municipalities, kids, United Way's Healthy Grand Families. We hope to have a site live by next weekend. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to welcome Ms. Fell, our new city manager. Thank you all for being here. And Gary, I want to thank you for 4 years of interesting conversation and for your commitment to the city. Thank you. And everybody have a nice weekend.
All right, now the long part of the meeting, I get to talk. Nobody ruling over me for once, huh?
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
So, it's been an interesting road, time on council. I came into this position very two-dimensional. I was just angry at the condition of the police department. They were very short-staffed, underpaid, and that was really the reason I ran. I was angry about it. It's hard for people to remember now because we still have problems now. But man, when we got elected, me and the other two, down like at the Gomar in the evening, there'd be like 60, 70 people out there. It was crazy. It really was. We had encampments. Anywhere where you walked into the woods, there were people living. I mean, it was completely, completely out of control. I mean, this city was a completely different place. I'm not taking all the credit for that. Jimmy and Lily did a lot for that too. And my dog, Mark Kitty, did a lot for that. Annette did a lot for that. She hired Mark Kitty, for anybody who doesn't know that. As the interim city manager, she conducted that search, and between her and Robert Buffini and somebody else, who else was
Tom Dyer.
Tom Dyer, they hired us a great police chief and got us headed down the right path. We raised what we were paying those guys, and we've tried to continue to get those raises. But, I want to remind the guys that are going to stay up here not to forget how bad that was in 2019, because we still have the lowest paid police department of the big ones in this county. Bridgeport makes more and the county makes a lot more. And, next budget, this budget, I was able to squeeze you guys into, what did we do, 2,000 special pay plus the 5% for our police department. And still, it didn't get us up to where those other departments are, but it's hard for people to realize, that's a competitive job, how easy it is to lose those guys, because they are very valuable once we've educated them and sent them to the academy. There's an opening at Bridgeport. I'm not saying anything bad about the Bridgeport Police Department, but if I were a policeman, a young guy in this department, and I could get a job over there making 10 grand more, where they have a suspicious person walking down the road with their hat turned sideways and 4 guys respond and they slide across their hoods because they don't have any real crime. Good for them. Great job. Our guys work their cans off. As a 911 dispatcher, I can tell you our guys that work afternoon shift, they'll probably field 6, 8 calls. I don't know, maybe 10 on a busy night. Domestic calls, for example, in fights, 2 of them have to go. We have 4 or 5 guys working. These guys work their butts off. It's not even a comparable job to other jobs in the area. To keep it under control, the thin blue line is a real thing. Like, these guys work really hard. I don't want to make it all about that tonight, but like I said, I was very two-dimensional when I came into this. I learned a lot from Jimmy Marino. I want to give him a lot of credit. We were really good friends at the beginning. Everybody knows it went a little bit bad, but lots of thanks to Jimmy Marino. He did a lot for the city also. So did Lily. But I'm really jealous of these guys. These 3 that are coming in, man, I would love to work with you guys. And Tiffany, look at the seat I got between these 2. I would definitely want to be the mayor if I was hanging around. This is pretty ridiculous. The Lowndes Hill thing, I'm glad it passed. I don't feel like we really slid this through. Like I said, we had nothing to do with putting this back on the agenda. It's her fault. Blame her. But for you guys that didn't want it, you have still lots of opportunities to stop it. What I will tell you is engineering needs to be done up there either way. So even if you just take advantage of this grant to get that engineering done, you have lots more votes. You could stop this in the future, but give it a chance. It could be really cool. As a real estate agent, I can tell you, this is the kind of, in the biggest scheme of things, of infrastructure and all the important things the city has to do, it's kind of a dumb thing. But I can tell you, when people are looking for houses, these are the kind of dumb things that they're looking for. The VA park, You know, we have a wonderful park system. Are we ever going to make money on these things? Do we make money on playgrounds, the pool, the Robinson Grand? No. None of those things are ever going to make money. It's a dream to ever think they will, even when the Robinson Grand's paid off. If it breaks even, that's spectacular. It's a service, and it's to bring people here and to make the people that live here happy so they don't want to leave. So that's really all I have. And Jerry, I'm not coming around about speed bumps. I have a 1978 Porsche 911, 3 inches off the ground. No matter what speed I'm going, it's a problem. If you put one beside the Staley Park, I will destroy it. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Well,